in Thornton, Slaag Records, and now I gotta walk back across the street to the studio. Yeah. So, how about this bullshit? So I came outside in my car earlier, and I had the remote in my pocket, and I had my old man candy in my pocket. Hey, Miss Pinky. So I had my old man candy in my pocket. How about the candy pressed into the remote, right? Unbeknownst to me. I came outside, all my windows was down, the sunroof was open, and I'm freaking out. Because it was a distance, so I'm like, oh shit, they done got. Huh?
You had two guys?
Yeah.
No, one.
Oh,
Person.
Okay. You come over here.
I'm part of the entourage.
So here I'm is.
Yes, you should.
Imagine coming outside and your windows down, your sunroof open, and you have no idea how that happened. Hurt. Then I'm like, wait a minute, there's no glass nowhere. There is no glass anywhere. There's no glass inside the car. There's no glass outside. Huh? Oh, that would help.
There you go.
Okay.
And God said let there be.
Yeah, let there be light.
Let there be.
There was light.
So, something told me to go stand by my car and just hold down the buttons. So I'm standing there holding the buttons. All the windows go down. Yeah. On the remote for my car. Hold the button, all the windows open in the sunroof. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's for short luxury. As you deserve.
Baby.
I'm
scared.
That's the last time I was here.
Yeah, it's
Look at
got
you,
nice.
all in black. Some lips.
Is this how we starting this off?
No, it's going to get worse.
Cause it's already. Oh God! I need y'all to pray for me.
North.com.
Oh, that's right. We need to send it.
And they can go right to Ustream Live and see it live from there.
Yeah, that just happened.
Is that, are we live?
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever.
I am. Yeah.
Well, you guys are live in a couple of different places, though. You know.
Yeah.
Let me
Oh,
fix
that's
my
right. It's
collar.
okay. I can't.
Well, I'm
sorry.
sneezing up a storm. My nose is peeling like
What's
a
your friend's
cocaine.
name?
Who, me?
Your friend.
Oh, Michael.
Michael.
Yes.
Could you take him home now?
I drove.
The show is over. Please.
The show
take
is
him.
just beginning.
Heavens
Whoa.
to mercy.
Don't tempt me.
Yes,
Don't tempt me. He's a piece of work. You know this already.
Listen.
I see you. I see you.
We ain't even said go, and he already
I see you. I see it right there. See? Look at that mic. Whoa.
That's the view.
Beautiful view. Are you playing music that I've done? I didn't bring anything except my ass and attitude.
Then we will put that up later. Hey, Sabira, assalamu alaikum. And Stephanie and Marie and Miss Pinky, we just getting started.
If I knew it was going to be this warm, I would have come naked.
I'm glad we didn't tell you.
Sure that, but you know, we still got time.
Y'all hear this?
So there I was surrounded.
Uh-huh. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm sweating already. It ain't the heat either.
It's hotter than a hooker in a candy store in Mississippi in this joint.
Listen. He knows you can hear him. He does not care.
What?
Somebody on there said, they said, tell him I can hear him.
And I can read what you're saying. What? He got you blushing, tell him I can hear. Yeah, I'll see. Stephanie Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been red. Since she's blushing. Stephanie.
No,
what?
it was me.
I know you was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Schumacher, don't start.
I know that y'all can hear me. That's how we do it.
My car so that
Slaag
Spring can have a place to park.
It's Slaag Life.
Yeah, what is that? We'll get into that.
Hey,
Princess.
This thing is on, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not up to the site yet. They haven't started the show.
But she can hear me by way of the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Hola, baby. Let me drink this coffee so I can wake up.
He don't drink coffee. Not in the evening.
It's so hot.
I don't know how I'm gonna make it through. I don't. I'm doubting
Finally,
myself.
they invited me to this
Hey, my son.
esteemed internet pod broadcast video simulcast. They're casting. And I've received the casting.
I had no idea you were interested in coming. Otherwise, I'd have
Because I've always wanted to be here and be interviewed by you.
Really?
Yes, because this is an esteemed show. A lot of people
I've
watch it. They
I've
see
never
it.
interviewed you. Not here, but I'm saying like.
No, not here. No, not
but
at all. I
I
came with
did.
Eddie. I think there might have been something in the, like right after Think Soul or something like that.
Right.
Those listeners are gonna
But
be
you know,
anyway.
it's another decade.
True. True.
I mean, at least once every 10 years.
See, you can see
It's better than
this one.
somebody else besides.
Yeah.
see both of you?
Move it just a little bit more. You can see his face, but it kind of just like there you go. You got it. Yeah.
Where you going tonight?
I don't know. What is there to do tonight?
I don't know where it is to go. That's why I'm asking where you going tonight.
I know Elevations. I need to go. I need to go to Brooklyn.
Oh, that's what I was thinking about going to for all them Sagittarius people. Where in Brooklyn were you thinking of?
Yeah, because it wasn't that place.
Well, I was thinking of Frank's Lounge.
No.
Where were you going?
Frank's Lounge is like this.
But darker.
On St. John's Place, the Happiness Lounge, Frankie Paradise.
Oh,
This
no.
party?
Oh, that, yeah. No, Herb Martin and Mansky and other folks, this is like a Sagittarius birthday party thing at
Herb
Frank's
Martin.
Lounge.
Oh, wow.
Conrad Nebbitt, Carolyn Victorian is one of the hosts.
I haven't seen her in so long.
You haven't seen her in a while either. We used to
Like,
work together back in the last century.
Like, from Think So. That was the last time I think I saw
We
her.
worked together before Think Soul.
Wow.
Is this on?
It,
1991.
Yeah.
1990.
It might be.
I was 4.
And she didn't have gray. Neither did I. It was the last century.
Oh, there's a
I
couple
don't
of
even
things
think I had a
in,
child back then. Kids.
in Brooklyn. Happiness Lounge with Frankie Paradise. But Lynn said that Herb Martin and them are having a party at Frank's Lounge. Where you going?
Who, me?
Shamaka.
Schumacher?
Mm-hmm.
Schumacher.
Sitting right here, just like that, so that it can.
Schumacher. Well, how do they do it like in Alabama, wherever he came from? Is it like Schumacher?
He's
Or
not.
Schumacher?
He's not from Alabama.
It sounds. If I say he's from Alabama, he's from Alabama. Schumacher. Schumacher. Is that like two names put together?
No, it's just one.
Wasn't it
whole
Shoe
name.
Vance?
That's 2 names. That's his part of his first name and his middle name. Schumacher Shuvance. That's his.
It's like
stage
midday. It's the middle of the day.
And that concludes our show.
Schumacher. Is he typing something? Shaking my head, Glenn. Shaking my head.
Why are you shaking your head? You know who Glenn is.
I look fat. Do I look fat? What kind, you have a wide angle lens on this thing?
You stop. Don't encourage him.
Wait a minute.
I really
Camera
don't
has
know
10
how
pounds.
to do this.
How about from this angle? We turn to the side.
God.
Is the furnace down? Is this the sub basement with the furnace? Or is there a steam pipe running through this joint? Because
It's a pipe running through it. It really is a pipe.
you know what? No, that's what he's saying. I know. Oh, you know what? It's Schumacher. Is that Schumacher?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is it? Schumacher or Schumacher? Yeah, Glenn, you do. Do what? Oh. Am I behind or is he behind?
I think there's a.
Oh.
The
Type
lag.
faster, honey. There's that little microphone thing you can actually talk. It's. Do you have an iPhone? At least 6. Okay. What's the first question? Since I'm unappropriately late or inappropriately
Where
late.
are you from?
I tell you,
Let's start with that.
I
I
still
need
got
y'all
a
to
job
send,
unlike Matt Lauer.
We about ready.
What? I'm like Al Roker. No parts of that.
Yeah.
The weather today in this joint is hot, y'all.
Pretty much. Mm-hmm.
You about ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh,
See? We hadn't even started. Well, we had. He did. You hate iPhone? Shamaka said you look fat.
yeah, I probably do. Wait till he gets on here.
I can't. I refuse to do this with you all.
Do I look fat now? From the side. It's the lighting.
Hey,
all the lights
Calandra.
off.
How are you doing? You said turn all the lights off?
Yes, I did.
I can't.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up, everybody? It's your man DeViouS Ahmad on another DeViouS Friday. I hope all of you have had a wonderful, wonderful week. It has been a trying ass day for me, but I'm so glad it's Friday. FYI, I think next Saturday, is it next Saturday or next Friday? No, tomorrow, DJ Puncher Club Elevation. Next Saturday, Humble Beginnings. And there's a party I'm missing, but you can go to GS Radio Newark and, oh no, it's not a party, it's the closed drive
Yeah, the New
with
Jersey
Barbara
Drive.
Tucker.
The New Jersey Drive that Adam Cruz is doing tomorrow?
Oh no, that's a drive too?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a clothing drive.
Something like that.
Okay, well, check out Adam
Adam
Cruz.
Cruz doing something tomorrow.
Yeah.
Slaag Records is one of the sponsors. That's why I kind of remembered it.
Kinda. You heard that? But Barbara Tucker is part of a group that they go to, on December 10th, they'll be going around to the different shelters. So for anybody who has gently used clothing, shoes, toiletries, not gently used toiletries, but if you want to donate toiletries for this cause, you can hit me up in my inbox, let me know, and I'll try to arrange to meet you over here because they're doing it over in the city. So I'll try to meet you guys over here if you're over here so that we can pick it up and take it to people who can use it. The flyer also, or the information, is going to be on the GS Radio Newark website. It is going to be on the Ustream website. So log on and check out that information, and I'll share it on my page a little bit later, just so everybody who is watching can, if you guys want to, you can go ahead and, donate. It would be an awesome thing. Help somebody out. We get to, now I apologize to you guys for the tardiness of the show. We had some technical things happening. As speaking of technical things, this view over here, there's a pop-up window on it if y'all want to check that one over there. But as you know from the title, obviously, hey Tiara and Robbie, my guest tonight.
That's what he was trying to say.
What it is, y'all see, the conversation before this conversation was the conversation. But my guest tonight, and I need y'all to just show him some love in the chat room and stuff, Mr. Glenn Thornton from Slaag Records. Much love and appreciation. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Now, you said something to me. Glenn has always made me do better, and I appreciate it. So tonight we aren't going to talk so much shop. I want to know we just want to have a conversation in general, pretty much. But you mentioned the newscaster who Matt Lauer,
right?
With all of the people who have been accused.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts about the accusations?
It's kind of interesting that it's really interesting that there are so many men that are accused lately by people who have kept silent for so long. And I get it that when somebody speaks, it makes other folks feel comfortable and want to speak out. But these there's accusations, and they're kind of like 3 levels of it. There's an accusation of sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
There's an accusation of sexual harassment. Then there's the the accusation of like sexual misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like 3 levels. So if I reached over and kissed you right now, that could be considered, since you didn't want me to do that, that could be considered sexual misconduct.
Mm-hmm.
If I said something to you that you didn't like, that was like, damn, look at them lips, that could be sexual harassment, especially if I said it more than once. And then if I snatched you up into a room somewhere and had touching feeling of your body while you were naked, that would be sexual assault. So, so what happens is that if I've done something that was like misconduct, you didn't like what I said, or I grabbed your head or your chest or your behind or something like that, and maybe at the time I thought it was funny, maybe you thought it was funny, then later on it wasn't so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think for a lot of these things outside, especially outside of sexual assault, you apologize. I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry that you might have thought it was okay 20 years ago and now all of a sudden you're not. And let's move on. Sexual assault, though, which is basically, another word for rape, that's another story. So when you have people like John Conyers, and he's accused of sexual harassment, because who knows what that is. I don't know who he said what to. I don't know what he said and who he said it to. I apologize, I'm sorry about it. Or let me do a better one, actually. Al Franken, because there's that picture. Mm-hmm. So Al Franken has his hands in front of this woman's chest area while she has her eyes closed and a flat suit on. Mm-hmm. Whether she was sleeping or not, I don't know. You know he didn't actually touch her because his hands are not on her breast or chest area in that flat suit. And he's smiling like he thought that was a joke and it was funny at the time because he's a comedian and she was a comedian. He was not a senator back then. They were both on tour. So to me, I'm sorry about that. Y'all thought it was this. I thought it was funny. I don't know what I was thinking. Leave it alone and move on. But all this other stuff, it's like, it comes down to the thing to me of like, who's not exempt? And is it really, for a lot of these folks, a payday for anything they can get over on? I'm not rich, so ain't nobody coming to look for me. Because I know I've done kissed and touched a couple of people somewhere along the line that if they want to show up now, come on, honey, I'm waiting for your ass. Because I got you. I ain't got no money. Because I could call you a whole sack of this and a bag of that, and then you really will be harassed. Matter of fact, you're harassing me by even talking about it. This coffee is hot as hell. Damn, I almost burnt my lips.
Like, even now, Russell Simmons has had
really.
to step down from his company.
I wouldn't have stepped down from anything. I would have been like, Charles, I made this and you didn't. But the difference is, it's not much of a difference. He was accused of sexual assault. Mm-hmm. And it's I don't know. It's really, you're accused of sexual assault by this person A, he said, she said. It's not like you're accused of sexual assault by the police, where the person who's accusing went to the police and made this a legal matter.
Right.
So, I have no idea.
And that's the problem I find with most of these accusations.
Right. Who knows really? Because,
right.
Well, you don't know. Who knows really, because it comes down to a lot of he said, she said. Mm-hmm. And is it sexual assault, sexual harassment, sexual misconduct only when men do it to women? Or is it the same when men do it to men, women do it to women, and women do it to men? Because, if you're a man and some woman grabs your ass or grabs your chest, it's supposed to be like, hee, whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's supposed to be like, what's wrong with you? You didn't really want her to do that?
Right.
I mean, I've been grabbed.
Yeah, me too.
Right. And it's
like mostly by women.
I've been grabbed by women, and it's like, it's kind of like, if women grab you, it's supposed to be like a compliment. And if men grab the woman, it's supposed to be like an insult. So
It's a double standard.
It's a kind of a funky double standard where it only applies when somebody wants it to apply and how they want it to apply.
I wonder how women feel, or are they taking advantage of being viewed as victims?
I don't know. It starts to, when I looked at the O'Reilly guy on Fox and the amount of millions of dollars they paid out to women for quote unquote for alleged sexual harassment, not assault. He didn't have sex with any of these women on the desk, so to speak. There was sexual harassment, whatever that is, and they paid millions of dollars. The first thing I thought of is, I need to go over to Fox and get me a job so somebody can sexually harass me and I can get me a payday. I got a mortgage and a couple of cars.
Because I don't find a lot of the people who are being accused saying that they wholeheartedly didn't. That's not exactly what, like some of them say, well, it's misconstrued, what like you were saying earlier. But nobody is really saying that just didn't happen. That's a lie.
Right.
And that's what makes it, I think, difficult.
And there's some folks that have said it didn't happen. A lot of times with the sexual assault, the people say, no, that's not what happened. Remember, before this was the big topic of the day, chewing up a whole bunch of the new 24-hour news cycle time, way back when, it doesn't matter how many years ago, you had the woman who accused the soccer team, or was the basket?
It was soccer team.
It was soccer team. She was a stripper, and she said, I went in there and they jumped all over me. And then later on she recanted and said, oh, no, that really wasn't it. Then you had the person who goes in and says, Mike Tyson invited me to his room at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I decided to go up there. And when I got up there, all of a sudden he jumped on me. And, he had sex with me, and now I'm mad, and I find that is to be a rape. So, it's really hard, because one part says, why did you go? But there's another part that's just as equal that says, if you do go, you should be immune from having that happen to you. Just because you went doesn't mean that that's what you wanted to do.
Right.
Because in the way it has been thought is like, well, what were you doing in Mike Tyson's, or what were you doing in Bill O'Reilly, or what were you doing at Bill Cosby, or whoever it is? What were you doing there? What did you expect to happen? But on the other side of it is like, I went there, and that should not have to be what I expect to happen. And that's not what's supposed to happen. Because there's plenty of women and men, there's plenty of people that go to another person's room that could be a sexual situation, and they get there and it's not a sexual situation. So it's really hard, and it becomes very much it's he said, she said, who's really right, who's really wrong, and who knows, especially when it was just two people in that room.
Right. You, more than a lot of other people that I'm aware of, you've been in the music industry and have taken it to levels that I haven't seen many other producers get to. Do you find that that's the climate across the industry?
Well, not really. I don't, because I try to make sure I conduct myself and carry myself in a way not to be part of that. This one of the things I pride myself in doing is knowing when to leave.
I know that's right.
And knowing when to leave, and knowing when I've had enough and this is not a place I want to be in, or not a people I want to be around. I'm sure I know that is there, because it's there everywhere. It's not the entertainment industry, it's not the political industry, it's every industry, it's everything. I don't care if you're a factory worker on the line at Ford or General Motors or Toyota, or if you're in the White House staff, or if you're in Congress. It doesn't matter where you are. Behavior is behavior. Men that prey after women because the man feels and knows or is perceived to have power and the woman doesn't, or the man is known and perceived to have power and the other man doesn't, or the woman has power and perceives to have power and the man doesn't. Anybody who wants to get somewhere that looks at a person who's they feel has more power than they do, and more of a way to say yes to and advance their career, You know, that's as old as two humans, where one felt they had power and the other one felt that they didn't have power and they wanted to get somewhere. So, you know, as they used to say, well, they still say it is an old line. It's in the movie and the musical The Producers, but it's an old line. One of them is, who do I have to fuck in this town to get somewhere?
Right.
Who do I have to fuck in this town to be able to get seen, to get a gig, to get a job? So, you know, it's harsh to say, but it's a reality. That's the way it is for a lot of folks. That is part of what goes on. Wow. Whether it's men and men, women and men, or men and women, it doesn't matter who it is. You know, people who have or perceived to have power are people who are given or folks will drop their beliefs or their principles in order to get a piece of that in many ways besides just sexually. Mm-hmm. So right now it's all about the sexual stuff. You know, you still have the thing where women getting paid less than men doing the same job.
Right.
Because, well, men have the power and they have it, so I guess I have to take less money because I'm a woman. So it's nothing new about it. It's just that right now this is the big conversation.
Yeah, pretty much. What made
you?
Yeah, because it will be coming back around. Mm-hmm. What made you start Slaag Records?
I started Slaag Records because I did my first release. When I went to do my second release, my second record, I approached Yellow Orange, which was Tony Humphries, mm-hmm. and they really liked it, and they were interested in it, and then they decided that they were not able to do it at that time.
Oh, wow.
And they would need to get remixes. It just wasn't right for them at that time. And a friend of mine that also was on the first record I did named...
it's the coffee.
No, it's not the coffee. It's the thousands of names running around my head. A friend of mine that had worked on the first record named Gerardo.
Oh, okay.
Who liked what I did on this second record called Going Up by Dawn Tallman. Mm-hmm. Was like, I really like the record. I think it's a great idea. I know they can't do it right now because where they are, they have other releases, there's stuff that's going on. Maybe you should release it yourself. Start your own label. I'm like, I'm not sure, but let me look into it. So I did a bunch of research, and I talked to two folks that have helped me move along and get to my decision of doing it. And it was so wonderful that these people were able to share full insight into starting a label and to what it took to do it. One was Jose Burgos.
Nice. Who
was at that point part of, he and Deuce. What's that called? It was him and Deuce and Dip. What was I calling him? Dipping thing. Dip. They had what was that? What was that called back then?
It wasn't LaFunkin'.
No, it was LaFunkin' was afterwards. Either way, it was Jose Burgos. I went to his house and sat down with him, and he showed me all of the invoices and all the stuff that it took to actually create and manufacture a record. Mm-hmm. And to this day, did it because he shared. And the other person that did a lot of sharing and helping me and get to my decision was of Liquid Sound Lounge, Jeannie Hopper.
Yeah.
Right. We sat down at her apartment. We talked about it. Then I thought about it, and I looked at it, and I was like, yeah, I will actually do this. And then Slaag Records was born in 2000. Because I started Slaag Productions first and did the first record or two. Okay. So this coming January will be the 20th year of Slaag Productions.
Oh, wow.
And then Slaag Records actually came about 2 years later.
Nice.
Yeah, 20 years. 20 years. 20 children, 20 years. I'm still here. Releasing stuff.
Where did the name
Slaag?
Yeah.
Say it like it's dirty. Slaag.
It is, which is why I don't say it. But where did that come from?
I'm gonna run rest Slaag. Where Slaag came from, there was there was a movie, and this became a TV show called Alienation, which I really liked. And
That's you got it from Alienation.
yeah, Alienation.
Because that when I heard slag, that was the only thing I could think of.
Right.
It was the name that they called the aliens. It was kind of their derogatory slur. It was their
that's
version
right.
of nigga.
That's right. So it was a derogatory, and the word slag is derogatory. I don't care what language you're speaking. Unless you're speaking my language. Slaag Records, Slaag Production, Slaag Track, Slaag Daddy. Then it's all of a sudden positive and good. Slurp, slurp, wink, wink.
Nice.
Yes. So it was a derogatory thing, and because I am a learned human, it's all about flipping the dialogue to be my story told from my point of view. And because we are black people and the creators of culture and art worldwide for all eternity, past and coming forward, we as black folks have always made something out of nothing. So because we've made something out of nothing, and as a black person, I've done that also. It's taking an idea in your head from the nothingness that's an energy and matter, and putting energy, matter together and creating something out of nothing, which then becomes the art, which becomes the music, or it becomes the film, or it becomes the pictures, whatever it becomes. But that's what we have done as black people for all eternity. And when we came here, for whatever story you want to know or believe of why we are in the United States, we as black folks in the United States always created something out of nothing, because we came and were given much of nothing to do something with. So Slaag Records, Slaag Productions, Slaag Tracks is all about making the music out of the thin air of our own creativity, of our own minds, of our own energy, of our own just wherewithal. So that's why it's Slaag. And just like in that movie, just like in that TV show, they were aliens that came here, called a derogatory name of slag, but they were smarter, faster, stronger, and better than the people who gave them that name. So they prevailed and excelled and exceeded. And Slaag prevails, excels, and exceeds.
What's the greatest honor you've had while doing Slaag Records?
I'd have to think about a couple of them. Next question while I think of that.
Okay.
Because it's going to take me a momento.
First, I want to say what's up to Gloria Wimberly, Bruce Davis, Simone, Alvinia, Tony, Sharonda Wheeler, I think I said Princess earlier, Phyllis McCoy Barry, Malik.
Phyllis McCoy, man.
Much love to all of you guys. Oh, that's Malik. I said Malik. My bad. Malik. I should have known better.
Malik Cooper.
Yeah.
Hey, Malik.
Yeah. If you guys want to call in and say what's up to Glenn, the number's 973-900-6453. 973-900-6453. Call in and say what's up to Slaag Daddy. How many artists have you done production for?
Ugh, it's been
innumerable. That many?
Yes and no. Running Slaag Records, I've done productions and releases where I was the producer, writer, or both. Then there have been many things, especially records that did very well, where I was the record label owner, and I was not necessarily the writer or the producer. Like Spirit of the Damned.
Yes,
if I could sing, I'd be fierce.
Awesome. That was that record.
Yeah, that's like that's a classic.
Absolutely.
You know, that's especially a New York, New Jersey, Brooklyn house classic. So Carlos Sanchez with his Carlos Sanchez Movement 3, The Spirit of the Dance, and that record, and Lorenzo Tyler sang it, and that record was like friggin' magic. It was what I said to Carlos at the time was a perfect record. You don't need to remix it. The performance that you got from Lorenzo Tyler, the production, the sound, the instruments, it's just friggin' perfect, and it stands the test of the time, because that was probably like 94. Something like that. It's like, was that 23 years ago? Well, no, not 94. It must have been, whatever. Somebody look it up. I can't look it up right now, and I'm not going to go online. But it was long enough ago that it's a classic. You know, I started out in the theater, so to use an old theater term, they peed.
For real.
They peed. They mopped it up. They couldn't mop up all the pee they did on that record. Another one of the records that is a classic that really killed it was You Are Why. Dawn Tallman's You Are Why. Then a couple of years ago, even though I was able to get it and license it, was with Dawn Tallman. It was the record. Somebody.
Well, what?
It was like 20 years of records. Feel the Vibe that she did, that was she featured on with Bob Sinclair. And back to that. So one of the most momentous things was getting that Bob Sinclair record, licensing it, releasing it on Slaag Records, and having it win at the Winter Music Conference's Independent Dance Music Awards as Best Soulful Garage. It won.
Yes.
Who cares? The child won. I don't care what the title is. And Dawn and I got dressed up like we came to win a friggin' award.
I know that's right.
And we were able to win that award, and that took us. We were on the international stage anyway, but to have something that goes in our hand that also was to complement the fact that the record went #1 on Billboard, on the #1 on the Billboard dance chart. So that's one. So I can't really say it's just one, because that was a momentous place. But also I would say another momentous one was that Spirit of the Dance record staying as a classic, where must have been like 2 or 3 years ago, I went to Fort Greene Park for the thing that the House in the Park thing that they do. It's not House in the Park, that's in Atlanta, but you know what I mean. It was Fort Greene. As I was finally got there, I felt like I was a little late, and as I was walking up the hill, getting close to it, I heard Spirit of the Dance, and then I got to the DJ booth. I said, excuse me, but that's my record. Oh, who are you? Yeah.
Wow.
That's all right. You don't need to know who I am. You're playing my record.
I know that's right.
And my ego is not, I don't have that ego where you have to know who I am. That's why this is my first time on this show.
Right.
This one.
Yeah, well, by himself.
Yeah.
I think is what he was.
I was here with Edward of Nicholas.
Like,
I was here with Edward of Nicholas.
So she was about to go, let's roll the videotape. We can go to the videotape.
I was here with Edward of Nicholas when I just happened to be stopping by. No.
That's which one is on your everyday playlist, Shamaka? Is it Spirit of the Dance?
What?
Hey, Mary. He said that's on my everyday playlist. I think he was talking about Spirit of the Dance on URY. And how did you meet Dawn Tallman?
Well, now you're really trying to get into some stuff. That's big enough. I was at this place the other day, and the person said, I've met many queens, but never a king.
Oh, wow.
So, how I met Dawn Tallman. This coffee's starting to run out. Yeah.
We need some more garçon. We need more coffee.
So, where I was at, meeting Dawn Tallman. So, coming up on 20 years ago, 20 years ago. It's been 20 years? Yeah. It's killing my neck and I don't need it. The first record I did was called Together in the Spirit. The party's called Together in Spirit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
Right, let's correct that now, because somebody somewhere will be like, So, the song was called Together in the Spirit that I wrote for this guy that I had met at the Winter Music Conference. So this must have been 1998, so it's not 20 years yet. So it'll be 20 years next in 2018 in like September. So I was going to do this record. Met this guy at the Winter Music Conference in 1998. Was going to do a record. I'm writing it. I'm doing it. He came and sang it. And we were at this studio that was supposed to be Prince's New York studio.
Okay.
So we get in there, and we're going to get into the studio. He's going to sing the lead. And I was like, I do need background vocalists. So there was someone I know that was going to do backgrounds. And I was saying, well, I do need backgrounds. I'm going to get this thing together. And I was talking with DJ Ken Terry. And he said, well, maybe you should try, well, you should ask Dawn Tallman. Maybe she could do the backgrounds for you. I'm like, Dawn Tallman, she's a star. I don't have that kind of money. He's like, well, you should ask her, talk to her, find out. You never know. And I'm like, you're right. You don't know. So let me find out. So I got a number and called Dawn. And I'm like, would you be interested in doing this? She's like, sure. I'll come and do it. So we get to the studio, and I have my coinage together. Because I'm the kind of person, human, Slaag Daddy, like they call me Slaag Daddy, is that when you're going to do something for me, I make sure it is upfront done.
Right.
So when you walk in the door, if we're doing something and I'm paying you, you're going to get paid before you start.
Mm-hmm.
I am not interested at all in having you stand around and say, I hope this motherfucker got my money.
Right. As too many people.
Oh, dude, I hope he got my money. Oh, I wonder does he have to wait for the door? I don't do that. I don't like that. That's not fair. That's not professional. And that's not slaggerous.
Thank you.
That's how I get down. So I'm going to take care of you as a professional before you start. That lets you know this is a professional situation that's going to have you so happy that you're going to turn it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are compensated, taken care of, and treated like the professional that I believe that you are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, you're going to play yourself.
Right.
So Dawn walked in. I was like, bang, here's the coinage. So we got in there. She was doing backgrounds. And the other two people that were doing backgrounds and the lead singer, they had their issues and problems. And she said, it's funny, we laugh about this now. Excuse me, sir. I don't want to take over your session. I'm not trying to be like, take over your stuff. But, I don't think I could do all these backgrounds myself. I said, well, this is one of the first things I've done. And I know who you are and doing what you're doing. So you're not taking over anything from me. If you got it, then you got it. And, more power to you.
Right.
And I'm not like, you're not stepping on my toes.
Mm-hmm.
So she went and slayed every friggin' thing and slayed the entire background vocals. And then as she was about to leave, I was like, is there anything else that I do? Is it okay if I call you? She's like, yeah, okay, no problem, perfect. So I put the record together, and then my friend Gerardo said, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. This guy sucks. He can't sing. You need to get him off the record. Wow. Get him off. He sucks. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, well, I'm new at this, and my ears aren't where yours are because you've been doing this for years. He said, I got something for you. Why don't I'll do this for you. I'll sing the record so you can see how it's supposed to sound. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's a good idea. That's perfect. So a couple of weeks later, he says, I got an idea. How about, since Dawn's on vocals on the background, how about me and Dawn do it as a duet? I'm like, sounds good to me, too.
I know that's right.
I know I'm going to have to pay her some more money and take care of y'all, but that's fine. He's like, okay. So we went into the studio, to Ironbound Studio, down here in Newark.
Which is
gone.
Is that where we?
It was on Jefferson Street.
Was that where we did the party?
Became Axiom.
Axiom. Yeah.
It was when it was Ironbound Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Later becoming Axiom, and we got in there and they opened their mouths to sing. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So this is what this is supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
So I laid out the coins, took care of everybody in advance, and then Dawn and I from there, I was like, well, I'm thinking about doing another thing. Would you be interested? Okay. And that was like 1999, 2000.
Wow.
That had to be, wait a minute, 2000.
Okay.
No, 99. We must have done that. And she was pregnant.
Yeah, it was.
With her son, and her son turned 17 back in October. Mm-hmm. So we must have done that record like in March, April. Whenever it was. Mm-hmm. She was pregnant, and because of the way, being pregnant and the way her son was sitting, her voice is so much higher on that record than it ever was or ever will be.
Really?
Yeah, she's like a soprano. She's really more like a alto. But on that record, she's singing soprano, and that high, because the way her son was sitting being pregnant, she could sing like that, at which point that'll never happen again. Going up, like Glenn Thornton featuring by Dawn Tallman, because I didn't like to do featuring stuff. So it's Going Up by Dawn Tallman is the first record on Slaag Records, which is like 2000 or 2001.
Wow.
And that started Slaag Records. So we met doing background stuff and all that stuff. And then because I'm a person of the utmost integrity and make sure that I am, we've continued our relationship professionally. And it's now 2017. So basically for the last almost 20 years. Actually, it is coming up on 20 years because the first thing was the record called Together in Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Together in the Spirit.
Yeah. Wow. And I remember her, the first time I saw her was when you guys came to Think So.
Right.
To perform.
Right, but she had hits before that with like Feel It and stuff that was on Nervous Records.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just, I was new
Right.
into this whole
You were
situation.
like 8 years old.
Pretty much, yeah.
1994. So she started in 94. What were you, like 12, 13?
Something
like
that.
that.
I was around, around 12.
I was 40 back then.
Yeah, I was that young at
Right.
that time. What keeps you, do you do anything besides house music? You do
No.
across the,
I don't do no hip hop, R&B. I don't do rap. I don't do jazz. I don't do classical. I don't do world music. I don't do gospel. I don't do. Did I miss something?
I think you pretty much.
Yeah, I think I hit everything.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because this is what I love. This is what I like, and this is all I need to do, know to do, and want to do.
Okay. I mean, it's the same
Pick
thing.
something and friggin' do it. Pick something, be good at it, be focused on it. I mean, if I wanted to be, it's slag, not horse shit, honey. I ain't everywhere.
What did you do before you did this?
Get prepared to do this.
In what way?
So many ways. I was a master.
TUI.
Yeah, that too. I did, oh, you want to now you try. This Nicky Picky. What you really want to know is the deepest, darkest things of what made Slaag Daddy from Glenn Thornton to Slaag Daddy from wherever to whoever to how I got here now. So because you asked that, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Because I'm going to take this over. Just sit back, relax, and listen. Yes. I'm a theater hooker. Old theater boy.
Mm-hmm.
Old theater person. I could have, should have, maybe still could be a theater person. When I first got out of college in the last century, I was really into the theater of playwriting. So I've written a couple of plays, had a reading of a play in New York, and I was more into straight up playwriting and serious theater, though I always liked musicals.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do still more like musicals than straight up plays, but I do go to the theater frequently enough to see plays as well as musicals, and I have not a vast, but a decent sizable theater and musical theater knowledge. And it's just the straight up plays, like straight up drama or comedy or even musical theater, because I always like that. So I really wanted to, and went to college for, and was really interested in more of a arts management position and perspective. So I did theater as a public relations person for a theater that happens to be here in Newark, New Jersey. And it was one of two professional black theater companies, of the only two black theater companies in New Jersey. It was one of maybe 4 or 5 black professional theater companies in the United States.
Wow.
And the theater company was called TUI, which stood for Theater of Universal Images, which was in Newark Symphony Hall. And if anybody knows Newark Symphony Hall, there's the main entrance to Newark Symphony Hall, straight through the doors. But on the extreme right side of those doors is another door that used to be Theater of Universal Images. And before that, it was Channel 13's studios back in the 50s and 60s. And there was a guy named Clarence Williams who was the head of it. And Clarence and some other folks, by way of that theater company and their affiliation being nonprofit and with all of the good things that were happening in Newark going from the 80s into the 90s, became 70s, 80s, and 90s, came up with Newark Cablevision. So Newark Cablevision basically came out of Theater of Universal Images.
Wow.
Was Clarence Williams, Al Bundy. That was back when Donald Payne. Amiri Baraka, these folks were in their like 40s and 50s. And Newark Cablevision took over a building that was on Central Avenue.
Yeah.
And then it got sold, and I think it became part of Comcast.
Comcast.
Yeah. So I was always wanted to do theater. So getting in, but I also always wanted to do music, and the technology that came about opened the door for me to get into music and do the production that I wanted to do because it became accessible and affordable.
Nice.
So I guess what really got me into this was wanting to make my dreams come true for myself, which wanted me to make dreams come true for other people. With Slaag Records, Slaag Productions, Slaag Tracks, I've done a lot of being the jump off point, the base for a lot of people with their first record or in the beginning of their career. And I'm very proud of it. I hope they're very proud of where they've arrived, where they've gotten to. Some of the first records that like Eric Frazier did of E Wonder or E Wonder 1. I did that record with Carlos Sanchez. He had stuff already, but that record really worked, and we really moved that. It was in the earlier days of Dawn Tallman moving from being on Nervous to what we're doing and what she became and what she's doing now. It was early days for Ron Carroll out of Chicago. It was early days of Duran Tariq, known as Dip, over at Elevations right now as we speak, about to run a party. It was early days of, who else was on there? This girl named Stacy, wherever she is now, because she did records and songs with Duran Tariq. I'm not going to get into what I turned down because it just wasn't for me. Also, early days of DJ Pope.
Wow. Pope and OG?
Yeah, Pope. Well, it was Pope. Pope and OG did stuff, and they were doing stuff, but Pope did something on his own that I had on the label.
Okay.
Called Everything Must Change. What was that girl's name? But there was a lot of stuff that was early on.
Nice.
I always wanted to help people out toward the beginning and going further and going forward. There was a guy named Juan Fortino. Some of the first things he really got into that we moved. I ran stuff to Billboard. I've had 4 records on Billboard dance charts. Heavenly Vibe by Dawn Tallman. That I forgot what that went to. I think it was 11. URY went to number 4. Feel the Vibe went to number 1. That's Dawn Tallman also. Dawn Tallman's Teardrops. I think we made that to. What did we get to? 11. And then Gonna Be Power, which was actually under my name, featuring her, that made it to number 14 earlier this year.
Nice.
So that's 5. Did I miss something? I'm feeling like when I'm like Barry Gordian. I'm sitting here like, how many years ago was that?
Yeah.
Like I've had so much success that I can't remember it. I said success that I can't remember that I can't remember it. What's the next question? Oh, did I answer the question?
You
No, did I beat this horse?
I never knew that you had gotten into theater. That's what
I
my
was
background is in.
Oh, I'm an old theater person, baby. I love to cry at weddings. Anybody is wedding. If I could sing, I'd be fierce. I like all them old show tunes without being what's perceived to be somebody who loves show tunes. I mean, Stephen Sondheim, I'd slap 2 of his teeth out.
Yeah, he's amazing. He really is. Why hasn't? Do you think theater is like? Because I haven't been in a while just due to the things that I've been going through. But are there enough of us still going to the theater?
Going or
going?
Not on stage. You're talking about attending.
No, attending.
Yes. Especially when you get a show that is speaking to us as black people. Ain't no us. We talk about black folks.
Pretty much.
Yeah. No, not pretty much.
Definitely.
We're talking about black folks.
Yes.
Are there black people that attend theater, whether it is musicals, dance, or straight plays?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially when the subject matter or the actors on stage represent black people.
Do you think that we have enough?
Yes, more so than we do in movies. And we could always have more. In March of 2018, Denzel Washington is coming to Broadway in Eugene O'Neill's The Iceman Cometh, directed by George C. Wolfe, a black man. And they are going to fucking kill it, to use a technical term.
Yes.
Because George C. Wolfe is over stupid.
Wow.
And Denzel, who can almost direct himself.
Mm-hmm.
Put the two. George C. Wolfe is the person that is, we used to say in theater, grabs the friggin' brass ring, rings the bell.
Mm-hmm.
He goes for it. He did. Did he do For Colored Girls? No. He did The Colored Museum.
Oh wow.
That was his. It was at the Public Theater, then it moved to Broadway. The Colored Museum. He also did Shuffle Along last year, that unfortunately died quickly. He did Jelly's Last Jam, and he's done several other things. I told you I like Broadway and theater stuff. So, the Public Theater sends things to Broadway. McCarter Theater in New Jersey sends things to Broadway. And the Paper Mill Playhouse in New Jersey are the 3 big regional theaters that send stuff to Broadway. Like Newsies was at the Paper Mill Playhouse in, was that Short Hills? Yeah. No, Short Hills. Paper Mill Playhouse had Newsies. It was a movie. It was a Disney movie. They decided to make it a musical, live musical, and they did it at the Paper Mill Playhouse in Short Hills, or is that Summit? Whatever. Or Melbourne. Short Hills, thanks. And then they moved it from there to Broadway, and it ran on Broadway, and that was the first big musical for Disney. Like, oh shit, we can really take these things and translate them from movies into musicals. Now, since I like theater, I saw the movie. Nobody saw it, but I saw it.
Do you think theater is a viable vehicle to reach today's, I want to say, youth? People who are under the age of, who are under the age of 18 and under.
Yes. Recently, I was at the New Victory Theater on 42nd Street in New York, and I went to see a show called Migration. There's a subtitle to that. Let's just call it Migration for now. I went to see a show called, my wife and I went to see, yes, I've been married for 32 years to the same person. I went to see Migration at the New Victory Theater, and it's presented by a group called Step Africa, with a K, out of Washington, D.C. And they mostly do stepping, like the fraternity, sorority, stepping stuff, but they also do, in their repertoire, they have ballet, tap, and modern. And what they did, it was called Migration, Jacob Lawrence. So what they did was take some of the paintings from the Jacob Lawrence Migration series of artwork and put that as a projection on a screen on the stage and on behind them, and then they danced live basically what the painting was saying. But the Migration series by Jacob Lawrence, half of it's like 40 or 50 or 60 panels that he painted. Half of it is in Washington, D.C. at the Phillips Collection. The other half is at the either at the Whitney or the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. So it's rare that they take both halves and put it together and show you the entire series he painted. So since this company is from D.C., they got together with the people at the Phillips Collection, and they did this story of black dance and how it came from Africa into the United States. So they started, the show was showing dance in Africa, then how it was in slavery times, then into the Christian, like the 20s, Jim Crow, and then the Great Migration was 1940. Somebody knows this somewhere. The Great Migration was mostly in the 40s up until the 60s. I think it was 1940 up until 1964. So the paintings happened to have to do with the Great Migration. So you have the dancing coming all the way up to the Great Migration, and then through that up into the 60s, and you show the dancing and the different costumes, and these kids killed it. So what I'm trying to get to is that it was at the New Victory Theater, which is a place primarily for young audiences that are kids.
Wow.
So my wife and I went there, and the way the theater is set up, there were tons of children there that were like 8, 9, 10, 5, 6 years old, and it was so wonderful to see such a diverse mix of audience. It was black, white, Latin, Asian, whatever, and mommies brought their kids, daddies brought their kids, grandparents brought their kids, and then there were some adults and grown folks like us that just wanted to see it. The theater is so immersed into children that they have lockers that are free to check. Instead of checking your coat, you have lockers, and you put a lock on it, and you take the key to your seat with you. They have booster seats to make sure the kids can see.
Nice.
They have the bathrooms are set up for children, and at the end of the show, they make it so that the cast members from the show come down into the lobby area that they have so the kids can meet them and talk to them and ask them about the show. They also have pamphlets that they give out that are discussions about the show that the parents and their children can have. This is from the show. This is a painting. What do you think about, what do you feel when you look at this Jacob Lawrence painting from 1944 about, so it's about nurturing kids into the theater and into art. So it is viable, and there were plenty of black folks there and plenty of people there. So, that is a charge of people in the art world, whether it's music, theater, literature, or poetry, or visual art, to reach out to the children, to groom them to understand and look at this, so as they grow older and they become teenagers and they become adults and they become parents and they become older adults, that this is part of their vocabulary. I hope I didn't say too much.
No, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because oftentimes I don't feel that kids they take so many of the arts programs away from kids that I worry that they're not getting it anywhere else. But that you said that the parents, I guess, are picking up the slack.
Yeah, it's there. You just have to go do it and see it. I mean, there has always been, and there will hopefully always be, access to art that is not cost prohibitive. I mean, like Bank of America does weekend art on us. If you have a Bank of America debit or credit card, because you have an account, you can go to many museums across the country on a weekend and show your card and don't have to pay to get in.
Nice.
All those museums in New York City have either Monday or Tuesday or Sunday in the week that is pay what you wish.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to pay anything. You can go to the theater and there are $5 tickets for Broadway shows if you qualify for that, because they used to have a theater development fund. There was also theater for a new audience. I forgot all the names, but there's ways to see
Special audiences.
I don't care if you're in New York or Newark. I don't care where you are. The people who are philanthropic that have spent, who have given these museums or theaters or whatever their millions of dollars to make it so that there is access for people who don't have it like that. You know, there's always free days at museums. You can go and pay what you wish. You can go in there and say, you can go up to the register and say, I just want to see one of my favorites. I want to see Jacob Lawrence. I ain't got no money. Go ahead.
Nice.
Somebody's going to do something. Or the person standing behind you, they got it like that. And you walk up in there like, I ain't got it like that. Here, child, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, let's walk with me. I'll help. If you don't know, I'll explain it to you. I'll talk it to you. Or let me just get in there and take the headphones or use my cell phone, and I'm going to learn about all the art. You know, Jacob Lawrence, Norman Lewis, Romeo Bearden. I could babble on we'd be here for 3 hours. About art and art world and theater and all that stuff. Susan Laurie Parks.
Susan Laurie Parks.
Yes. A playwright. Just somebody go Google that.
I'm going to Google it when I get
top
home.
dog, underdog on Broadway. She just was had a residency at the Signature Theater in New York.
Yeah,
the stuff. Yeah. Susan Laurie Parks. Suzanne, Suzan, Laurie, Lori Parks. You know how to spell that. Go.
Okay, what's up? I'm gonna say Jasmina. Leslie is in the room, and Eddie Nicholas.
Edward of Nicholas. Yes, Edward of Nicholas.
Oh, what's up?
I don't have your contact, Edward of Nicholas. Call me so I can have it, because my phone is functified, so we can meet after I leave here.
Okay. What we looking like? Is that it?
At 9:20.
Oh, dang.
After 9.
Dang.
I chatted that long.
That's yeah. Mazel tov. Look, I'm okay with it. Armand and Stephen McAllister, my dude. And Shamaka says sometimes you can get theater that grabs all ages and become classic like Les Miserables, which is it's a wonderful production. I didn't see the play. I saw the movie, and I thought it was real interesting. Yeah, it was really interesting that Hugh Jackman was singing all of these. But anyway, thank you. Can we get a round of applause real quick for Mr. Glenn Thornton, Slaag Records? Much love and appreciation. There's so much we talked about. We didn't talk as much about you and the company as I would have liked to. There are some other things I want to find out.
It's more about who is this Nicky Picky up under this stuff?
And that's what I kind of wanted to get to.
Yeah, and it's good because everybody Slaag Records. I can babble on about that again, but I really enjoyed and appreciated this, and I thought it was quite friggin' wonderful that we got into some stuff that's not what all the folks get, and everybody. One of the things to know about me, if you want to know me, is I'm an old theater trop.
Which I'm
Then he pushed the bike more.
Thespian?
Did you put the bike back to you?
Who? What? Oh, this thing? I thought it was old. I'm a theater person. I was started as theater. I love theater. I love musicals. I love musical theater. And that's something that, I do music, but it's a whole big picture.
Yeah.
I mean, theater and musical theater, them kids are friggin'. And then dance, I was just at the Alvin Ailey Gala. What's today? Friday? Was that Wednesday? Yeah. Today was Thursday. Yeah. I was at the Alvin Ailey Gala, the opening night gala. On Wednesday, I went to the show, and then I went to the party afterwards. I did the whole opening night gala thing with the big, got dressed up and all that kind of stuff. And if you might have seen a picture, and I don't really share too many of them, but Alvin Ailey in the theater, and they had Act 1 with the where they were celebrating the American Songbook by way of black folks. So they had Stevie Wonder music, Earth, Wind and Fire, Otis Redding doing Try a Little Tenderness.
Wow.
And they had Stevie Wonder, If It's Magic, Shining Star, Try a Little Tenderness, and Stevie Wonder Fingertips.
Wow.
And then Act 2 was Revelations, and they had live musicians. And they had this woman that was sitting down because she couldn't stand up, and she sang, and she had the Tobacco Road jack leg preacher corn liquor on apple pie, fried chicken and lard with buttermilk biscuits in her voice, and she reached that back in the depths of her toes on a Sunday morning in a tent revival in Mississippi in August. And she growled and all that. If I wasn't in the balcony, I would have ran up on the stage and slapped the dentures out her motherfucking mouth. Watch. Then the guys that were singing, because it's Negro spirituals, which I like.
Yes.
I don't know nothing about this new gospel music. And they were like, ooh, and all that kind of stuff. And they were like, I'm ready to put on my long white robe.
Yes.
I don't know the new ones, but I was like, I'm wading in the water, and they were doing that, and the other, and they would like just killing
rocking
it.
my soul.
Yeah, rocking my what's it? Daniel.
Didn't my Lord deliver?
Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? Deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel. Right. They would do that. And like, where you gonna run to? No, what's with the It's the where you gonna run to is because you got to see the piece because it's like it'll come back. What was the other one? It's all these Negro. Y'all know what Revelations is. If you don't know what Revelations is, you better go find out. And if you don't know what Revelations is, don't tell nobody.
For real.
Go find out and then come back and act like you knew it.
Especially don't tell me if you see me out in the street.
Don't tell. Go find out about it. Go get it. Because it's not necessarily online. Ailey just opened on Wednesday. Their closing is December 31st. You have 4 weeks.
Get your ass.
To go learn about something and keep your mouth shut until someplace in January and then act like you've been going to see it and you knew about it for the last 40 years.
Okay. With that said, much love and appreciation to all of you.
One last thing.
One last thing.
At Ailey, since I like Ailey and my wife and I are patrons and all that kind of stuff, besides that, because Ailey is classic and what is new classic. Dennis Ferrer's song Deep Where the Sun Don't Shine, they have a dance to that. So they have legitimized and they have legitimized house music by having 2 different songs that are house staples that they've choreographed dance to. And Rennie Harris, which is a brother from Philadelphia who does like a hip-hop dance thing, he did the choreography. So Ailey has taken house music, put it in their repertoire with choreography, which elevates house music from the people to high art, where the benefit that I was at on Wednesday, they announced they raised $2.4 million.
Wow.
That night.
Wow.
So it is high art. With a whole big boatload of money that is behind it. So that is saying house music, our music, what we do is high art. It's not just the people's art, though it is. But to have it elevated to high art, hey Eddie Nicholas, I saw that Shalvar, Montear, you know who I'm talking about. Type it in so I can see it. You know who I'm talking about, And then Miss Moving Records, I've known him since he was 8 years old. I'm waiting for you to type. I'm still sitting here, but this is why I can't see this. Great show, Schumacher Savants. Chewbacca.
I can't listen to him do that.
Big mic in my mouth, Chewbacca.
Y'all can hear him, right? Y'all hear this? Y'all can hear this? Y'all can hear this? Could y'all imagine?
Okay, am I done here?
Cameras came on. Yes, you are done. We are done here. We are done here. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Once again, join me tomorrow night at Elevation and next Saturday at Humble Beginnings. And I will post the information for the drive. We are collecting clothes.
Go
once
buy
again,
my album, Slaag.
coats, shoes, toiletries, underwear, anything that you can give for people who are in need, and those will be taken over into shelters on December 10th. And this is something that Barbara Tucker has been doing with this group for a number of years now. So I'll be joining them.
The bus tour. What's the bus tour?
Yeah, Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah. We go on a bus to visit different shelters and take them things that they need. So that's what we're going to be doing on December 10th. I hope I'm going to be conscious because Humble is the night before. So this is going to be... And they sing and do stuff, so this is very, very interesting. So come on, and there's a page where you can just donate if you want to just donate and come along, okay? So you guys, once again, thank you.
Thank you. It's been
Pleasure's
cryptic.
Yeah.
Hyperbolic syllabus, sesame datanistic.
Listen, and all of you have a good weekend. And we're in our last 3 weeks for DeViouS Fridays for this calendar year, and we have a few.
Live long and prosper, children.
We have some good. The last few shows are really, really doing a thing. We got Donna Jackson coming back. We still got Lachey for this month. We still got the Freedom Team with Just Joy and Brooke Jers from Megastar. We still got some things to show you. So make sure you come and join us. It's DeViouS Friday. My name is DeViouS Ahmad, and we are. Remember, what is it? I always forget it. My brain is.
The bigger they fall?
No, the harder you fall, the higher you bounce. Remember that when you're tripping. And we at it.
What happened to me last night, child?
You said that's what happened to you last night? I refuse. I'm not. I can't do it. I can't. I have to go home. I gotta go take a nap with some aspirin or some shit now because of this man. I think I might not make it back out my house for the next 3 or 4 days. That is the Murgatroyd. Yes, and shout out to Tanya Champagne.
Who the fuck is Murgatroyd?
You didn't watch what was it?
Who is Murgatroyd?
It's an old cartoon.
Yeah, I know.
Snagglepuss.
Yeah.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
Yeah, well, who the fuck was Murgatroyd back in the 60s?
I don't.
You are showing your age now, Snuggles.
Listen, I ain't saying
You got that hand on the 100 grade.
I have buried so many people younger than me this year. It's all right.
I buried people older than me too.
But it's the young ones.
Some of them I cremated and I got on my mantle.
Y'all heard that, right?
That's the one still on?
I'm not gonna let y'all. I'm gonna save y'all from this. I'm gonna save y'all from this.
How many cameras?